So that's why we remain bullish on Bitcoin and gold. People will be looking to get out of equity markets, looking for reserve currencies, and Bitcoin, it's a gambler's game, but a very strong one, considering the people playing it in the Trump Club. And then, of course, .com bust 2.0. We're giving you the data here. China's going to lead the race in that. You look at the stocks today, NVIDIA didn't do great. Yeah, they went up a little bit. This situation is going to get much worse. We're doing week after week after week in your Trends Journal. We're giving you the AI updates. And they're not talking about this in the mainstream media. So we're suggesting that you prepare, prevail, and prosper in these times ahead. And we're giving you everything we can to help you do that.
In today's news recap, gold rises as dollar eases ahead of U.S. China trade talks. Gold rose over 1% on Friday as the dollar ticked lower, while the market digested comments on tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump ahead of a weekend meeting between the U.S. and China. Spot gold was up today at $3,340.29 an ounce and has gained 3.1% so far this week. Bullion, known as a hedge against geopolitical and economic uncertainties, has risen more than 27% since the start of the year. The U.S. dollar edged 0.3% lower, making bullion less expensive for other currency holders. President Trump said that an 80% tariff on Chinese goods seems right as representatives prepared for weekend talks to contain a trade war between the world's two largest economies. Additionally, on the geopolitical front, India and Pakistan accused each other of launching new military attacks using drones and artillery for the third day in the worst fighting between the nuclear-armed South Asian neighbors in nearly 3 decades. Obviously, the overall continued uncertainty in regards to tariffs remains probably the most significant underpinning behind gold, said David Mager, director of metals trading at High Ridge Futures. We're not quite as favorable towards gold as we have been over the course of the past several months. We could be moving into a period of more consolidation or retracement for a period of time. On the physical front, Indian gold dealers offered price discounts this week amid weak demand as a weaker rupee lifted local prices to near record highs, while buying in China picked up after a holiday. Elsewhere, Trump's trade policies will likely lift inflation, lower growth, and raise unemployment later this year. Federal Reserve Governor Michael Barr said, leaving policymakers with a potentially tricky decision on which problem to fight. Spot silver added 0.8% to $32.75 an ounce. Platinum rose about 2% to $995.10. And palladium climbed 0.2% to $200.80. $977.68. Now we'll show you the best clips of the latest interview. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss out our daily recaps. And check goldsilverstacks.com to get your Stacker's Handbook, the ultimate guide to stack gold and silver, packed with strategies to trade the gold-silver ratio and get more ounces and build wealth over time so you don't have to rely on market commentators to make your investment decisions. Enjoy the episode.
Is Trump, yeah. And we got to deal with the UK, the FUCK, yeah. Stocks rose Thursday after President Donald Trump announced a trade deal. This is the language that they use. Framework, CNBC. Between the U.S. and United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Where the sun never sets on the British Empire, where we killed people all over the world, but we're the king. If they were Italian, they would call them the mafia. United Kingdom. The first major agreement hatched since the U.S. launched preemptive tariffs. The Dow went up 254 points. S&P rose 0.58, and the Nasdaq was up 1.07. You ready? A 10% baseline tariff will remain on the UK, according to a graphic posted on Truth Social, Bullshit Social, post by Trump. However, the president noted that the 10% UK tariff could be on the lower end of deals with future countries, and said that, quote, some will be much higher because they have massive trade surpluses. So in any way, there's no deal here at all. What happened to the tariff thing? This is nothing. 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 Heads up to nothing. The final details will be written up, Trump said, in the coming weeks. So we'll be changing our bullshit week after week after week after week, day after day after day after day. And then Besant is supposed to meet the Treasury Secretary with China over the weekend in Switzerland. And Boeing shares rose 3% after Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick suggested the U.S. and UK trade deal will lead to a multi-billion-dollar deal with Boeing. Yeah, corporatism or fascism merges state and corporate powers, as Mussolini said. Brent crude went up on the good news. And Bitcoin, 102.2K. Yep. $102,200. And as you well know in your Trends Journal, we've been very bullish on gold, particularly since the Crypto Club is a member of the Trump team. And we said the prices are going to keep going up.
In today's news recap, silver prices climb on safe haven demand. Silver prices rose over 1% to approach $33 per ounce on Thursday, recovering losses from the previous session as investors sought refuge in safe haven assets amid persistent economic and trade uncertainties. The rebound followed the Federal Reserve's decision on Wednesday to hold interest rates steady as expected. However, Chair Jerome Powell adopted a cautious tone, highlighting rising risks to both inflation and employment, and dismissing the possibility of a preemptive rate cut to mitigate potential economic fallout from new tariffs. On the trade front, President Donald Trump announced via Truth Social that he would hold a news conference Thursday to unveil a deal with a big country, reportedly the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, he reiterated that he would not roll back tariffs on China as a precondition for starting trade talks ahead of this weekend's scheduled U.S. China negotiations in Switzerland. Now we'll show you the best clips of the latest interview, but first, smash the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and check our new Numismatics Handbook. Most stackers want to get active, but swapping their metals for dollars isn't an option. There's plenty of opportunities in the overlooked numismatics world. Mastering U.S. coins, key dates, and errors pays off by multiplying your ounces and capitalizing where others aren't paying attention.
It's a gambler's game, and the gamblers are playing the game. Gold down $60, down $200 from its high, but we're still high on gold. Yesterday, Fed holds steady, citing risks of tariffs. So they held back with their rates. And what do they have here? Trump said, we have a stubborn Fed. Again, here's the deal. The economy goes down, interest rates go down. The equity markets go down, interest rates go down. Trump did it before, he'll do it again. The facts are all there. Go back to 2018 when we had the worst December in the Dow since the Great Depression, 1931. Trump pushed Powell to lower interest rates, and he did in January. He did it before, he will do it again. You ready? China cuts interest rates for boost amid trade war. China's doing everything they can to ramp up their economy. Everything. They're dumping more dough into it. It ain't coming back. Oh, there's an article in the Daily Mail today about how people in Kansas City going to Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. No, you ain't coming anymore there. No, you ain't going there. They say people go 9 o'clock at night. They're checking out because of the violence, the crime, and the craziness. How he builds advanced chip plant in China. I'm mentioning this because China's going to become more and more self-sufficient and self-sustaining. Again, there's going to be a dot-com bust. China's going to lead the world in AI. AI is the future. Again, we go by the facts. You ready? Trump crypto advisor David Bailey launching $300 million Bitcoin investment company. That was yesterday's CNN. Trump crypto advisor. I wonder why crypto's going up. Can't figure it out, man. Blow me away. Never would have thought this. Again, number of articles before this in your Trends Journal in this week's. This is very, very must hurt Trump. They just picked a new pope, and you see the cover of this week's Trends Journal. It was Trump wanted to be the pope, right? Yeah, presidential reality show, Pope a Dope. They picked one. Yeah, another. To me, it's all a bunch of BS. You know. Oh, he talked about peace. Yeah. How about stopping the Gaza war? How about going over there and stopping it, Popey? All right, Popey. Let's see what you do to stop the genocide, Popey. If he does something, great. If he doesn't do anything, just more bullshit. Where are all the religions trying to stop this war, the genocide being committed? Anyway, so yeah, traders made $100 million from buying Millennia meme coin before launch. There's an article in the Financial Times. Again, it's a crime syndicate. EV sales streak grinds to sudden halt. Week after week after week after week after week after week, year after year, we have the EV data. They're climbing over there in China. BYD is leading the charge. Tesla's going down. So are others. What does it mean? Where's it going? We give our trend forecast.
What's your take on Celente's new outlook? Do you think $3,000 gold is realistic this month, or are there more hurdles ahead? Will central banks continue to gobble up all the gold? It's funny that Gerald Celente has shifted his forecast after being bearish for like 2 weeks, becoming bullish on gold as he sees current market conditions driving prices higher. Share your thoughts and price predictions in the comments. Let's see how this plays out in the coming weeks. Now, watch this video right here because it's a perfect fit for you, and I'll see you on the other side.